This is the field of 68. I'm Vince Wolfram.
I'm JoJo Cavanagh in Auburn, Alabama. And this
It's Straight Out the Jungle. Welcome back to Straight Out the Jungle. My name is Vince Wolfram.
My name is JoJo Cavanagh.
And Auburn is the 2024 Maui Invitational Champions behind big men Johni, Broome, and Dylan Cardwell, the number 4 ranked Tigers, overpowered Memphis to win the Maui title game 90-76 on Wednesday night. It's Thanksgiving, and this is probably the best treat we could have gotten.
I said this was my Thanksgiving wish. I got my Thanksgiving wish. First SEC team since Kentucky in 1996 to win the Maui Invitational, and we won it in a game where, once again, for the second game in a row, we never trailed. We got to put in some of our bench players who work hard, travel with the team, so it was just all around such a great game for Auburn fans.
Definitely. And I mean, you could tell the energy was there. I mean, all game, it felt like we were in control. That was something we talked about and we were excited about last episode. But in this game, I felt it even more. So I was very excited Auburn could get out to that early lead and keep it throughout the game. And I know the Auburn fans in Maui absolutely loved it.
Oh, they 100% loved it. And who they loved, not the most, but come on, Johni Broome, MVP of the Maui Invitational, and rightfully so. Last night, he had 21 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 blocks, and 1 steal. So just talk about, again, a dominating performance. He recorded his second straight double-double before halftime. Like, what? And
It's
then
unreal.
unreal. Okay, so in less than 48 hours, he played 101 minutes, and across 3 games, he averaged 21.7 points, 15 rebounds, 4.3 assists, and 3 blocks. Across 3 games, and 2 of those were against ranked opponents. So just talk about, like we said yesterday, he is clearly right now the best player in college basketball. And something that I love about him was he was in the press conference and he spoke about how he quoted, I'm going to quote him right now. "I trust the guys around me. I don't mind having 10 assists. If they want to keep double teaming me, that's fine." So not only is he's our All-American, he is our best player on this team, but he's not selfish about it. He supports his teammates. He wants those assists. He's like, they're double teaming me. I'm going to give some of the points to my teammates. So that is just showing his character. It's showing the chemistry of the team, and that is cool to see. But I have one cool stat that I found, and I wanted to share it. So you're going to guess. I don't know if you saw this, but okay. He is the last D1 player since D1 or NBA player to record 60 points, 40 rebounds, 10 assists, and 5 blocks over 3 days. 60 points, 40 rebounds, 10 assists, and 5 blocks over just 3 days. Since a pretty big guy, player, and, personality, and just, in general wise. Who do you think it is?
Well, we talk about Charles Barkley a lot. It could be Chuck. You said big, could
He's
be
he's
Yao Ming.
he's friends with Chuck. I might just gave it away with that.
Not Kenny the Jet. We're gonna go with Shaq.
Yeah, Johni Broome is the first
That's
player,
crazy.
the last D1 or NBA player to record that stat was Shaquille O'Neal in the 2001 NBA Finals.
That's
So, and
crazy.
hold on, I am not comparing Johni Broome and Shaq. I just want to make myself clear. I don't need that hate. I am comparing the dominance of those 2 players, Shaquille O'Neal, the 2001 NBA Finals, and Johni Broome in the Maui Invitational. And
It was crazy that was
yeah,
just over 3 days too, like back to
yeah,
back to back games. That's just, I feel like my body would be disintegrated if I did that. So I don't know how Janai does it. I mean, first Auburn player with 5 double doubles in a row since 1988. That's crazy. And to do it in a span of 3 days is even more crazy. So shout out Janai, that dude playing his butt off.
oh, 100%. And there was one guy who Johni Broome was happy for, and this guy could not have been more happy for Johni Broome. So we're to talk about this relationship between Johni Broome and Dylan Cardwell and Dylan Cardwell's career performance last night.
Yeah. Last night was the Jumbotron man game. Dylan Cardwell with a career high 18 points on 8 for 8 shooting. Plus, he hit a 3-pointer. So if that's not happy Thanksgiving enough for anybody, you need to check your Thanksgiving because Dylan hitting a three is fantastic. Plus, in the post game, he said that's a part of his game that he's working on. So maybe you'll get Thanksgiving a couple more times this year if Dylan keeps shooting and knocking down the threes. And he wasn't messing around from the start. Auburn, their 9-0 lead to kick off the game was huge, and it was fueled by Johni Broome and Dylan Cardwell. Dylan had a nice little steep jump hook to start the game, which is something we don't really see from him, is that post game, but it is better than you probably give him credit for. That was something good to see in the first half. Plus, the guy rebounds like a madman. Dylan, there was a point in the game where he grabbed an offensive rebound. I think it was over literally 4 Memphis Tigers. I was shocked. Found Johni Broome for 3, bottom of the net. The team is so resilient, and it's led by those two guys, Dylan and Johni. And Dylan even talked about their relationship after the game and how it's changed, grown, and developed over the last year.
Coach Pearl's talking about obviously the relationship that you and Johni have had to have. Obviously, this pairing is working really well, but the last couple of years, what about your relationship made you comfortable being that role? And how did you, as he said, handle that as eloquently as you did?
Yeah, a year ago, pretty much this week, Johni and I became friends. The first year he was here, I looked at him as an opponent rather than my teammate. And, that kind of showed on the court. I wasn't cheering for him. I wasn't really, happy for him as I should have been. Last year, the Lord really challenged me in that Virginia Tech game. I prayed for Johni in warm-ups, and he dropped 30. But with him dropping 30, I only played 9 minutes. And the Lord gave me an option. He was like, you can either be happy that my prayer was answered, or I can be stingy that my teammate went off for 30. And after that Virginia Tech game, we went on to play in New York, and Johni got subbed out, and then I went 6 for 6 from the free throw line, and the loudest person cheering that arena was Johni Broome. And, after that, he earned my respect, and I looked at him, not really earned my respect, but he became a brother to me because I realized that he was not my opposition, but he was a brother, he was my teammate, and that's something that Coach Pearl has been telling us since we got here. I'm going to bring in guys that you're going to love on, and you're going to be there for the rest of your life. So, we're not the opponent. The guys in the locker room are not the opponent, and that's what, that's what you see today. We have so many guys that are happy for one another rather than looking at them as competition. And I feel like once I let my pride go and I let that go, Johni and I's relationship really took off.
I mean, that's just cool to hear Dylan talk like that and to see how their relationship has grown. And I understand that opponent thing. I mean, they're two guys that came in very highly touted to Auburn, and they're trying to get their own. But when they realized they were on the same team, that's when everything changed.
Yeah, 100%. And this is something that I noticed yesterday. So when Johni Broome went out against North Carolina and Dylan Cardwell was in, North Carolina went on a bit of a run. They won an 11-0 run. Yesterday, that did not happen. When Dylan was in the game, he proved himself and he stood his ground, obviously had a career night, but also with defense, shooting, and his offensive rebounds. Like you mentioned that one where he found Johni for that 3. There was another time where he had an offensive rebound and found JP for a 3. So Jay Billis was talking on the broadcast. He was like, people think, in transition is the best time to shoot a 3. He said, nope, it is after offensive rebounds. And we were able to do that because of Dylan Cardwell.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see number 4 and 44. I guess call him Wendy's, the 444. I like that. Actually, okay, come on. But Johni, Dylan, I think they've worked great together this year. It's an experiment Bruce has been messing with. We've seen him in the starting lineups. We've been starting to see him play well together, which has been really, really nice. We expected it, I think. Like, fans wanted to see it, but to actually see it unfold and to blossom the way it has, to see those two on the court balling at the same time has been fantastic. And something I noted too, we've had a player for every single game that's stood out. Johni Broome obviously has had every game where he stood out because he's dominating like no other. Vermont, it was Miles Kelly. Tahad, it was Houston. Kent State was Chaney. North Alabama was Johni. Iowa State was Chad. North Carolina was Johni. And then Memphis, I think it's the Dylan Cardwell game.
Jumbotron man game.
The Jumbotron man game. I love it. I'm about it. But that guy who dominated in Iowa State had a pretty big game too.
Yeah, Chad Baker-Mazara, he was named to the Maui Invitational first team, and that is because he had double digits in all 3 tournament games. Last night, he had 14 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He was 5 for 6. He was perfect from the free throw line. But not only did he score double digits in all 3 games, he played through an injury throughout the entire tournament. He talked about how his mama raised a warrior, and rightfully so. And we both saw he went on Instagram Live last night after the win and kind of talked about, the pain he was going through, but he still wouldn't have it any other way. Let's check it out.
Man, I'm sore. I'm hurting. I'm tired, y'all. But it was all worth it, y'all. Look at it. Y'all see this, big boy? Y'all see this, big boy? Come on now. Hey, man, I'm going to just jump in the pool just like this, man.
So he is, in fact, a warrior. Double digits throughout all 3 games and was playing through some pain. That is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of times I feel like he got sent to the deck, and for him to just get up, like he said, his mama raised a warrior. He wasn't kidding. Like, there is no joke to that statement. He got up every single time, and honestly, as weird as it sounds, I thought he played better after that. Maybe
I
when it
was
gets a
thinking
little
that.
chippy, Chad Baker sort of steps into that mojo, but he had that mojo flowing, and it looked good even after the injuries.
Yeah, I was worried he wasn't gonna be able to come back, but when he came back, he always played better than he was playing before. So I think it was like that warrior mentality. I think he liked that he was kind of like not the underdog, but that there was something to prove he was hurt. I don't know, but I just thought
Yeah, a
he
little
played
expectation
better.
against him, I think.
I think so. I think he played better like that. And it was like,
Yeah, it was funny. It was like Chad Baker-Mazara is headed back to the locker room, and however many minutes later, Chad Baker has returned to the bench. And then once he checks in, it's like free from Chad Baker. You're like, dude, wasn't this guy
yup.
hurt like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, no, actually don't even know how he does it. I would not be able to do that.
Take the plane ride today, Chad, and hopefully just get some rest. Rest the knees, the ankles, the joints. I know they're feeling it. So hopefully you've got the the cold on your knees, get some ice on there, and from there you'll be good. We need you for Duke.
Yeah, big game coming up. So, but another player that scored in double digits throughout the entire tournament was Denver Jones.
Yeah, Denver, he's played fantastic. It's a 6th game in double digits, 5th straight. I think he's becoming a leader on this team. As little credit as he gets with the big guys having the big games, Johni and Dylan, he's a guy that I think is subtly leading this team. He's the point guard. Bruce relies on those point guards. He had 11 points last night. Didn't shoot the ball great. He was 3 for 9, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. But a thing I noticed was his plus minus, 17 plus minus. While he didn't shoot the ball great, he didn't fill up the assist column. He didn't get a ton of rebounds. His impact on the game is positive. On offense and on defense, he's done a fantastic job guarding the other team's best guard. And that's something that will carry a team in the tournament. It'll carry them through the conference. That's what really matters. And Denver's really sort of stepping into that role. And there's plenty of opportunity for him to score. And I think the emphasis being on Johni Broome opens it up for a guy like Denver Jones because his arsenal is so deep. He can be a driver, he can be a 3-point shooter, he can score on so many different levels. And like I said, he didn't shoot the rock great in this tournament, but hopefully once we get back to the mainland, he'll start to really stroke the ball again, and we'll see Denver Jones really light up that stat sheet, the scoring column, because I think he can.
I think so too. You could tell every time he shot a 3 last night, he wanted it so badly.
And he's
And
confident. That's the
yeah,
other it comes off in such a confident way. He gets the ball, you know it's going up, and you think it's going in every single time. So I'm hoping more from Denver in the next couple of games because that's our guy.
yeah, I hope so too. That is our guy. He was amazing. But I think his defensive ability has not strayed throughout any game Auburn has played. So obviously last night he still had 11 points. He scored, you said, double figures in what, the last 6 games you said?
5 games straight, 6 total.
Yeah, 5 games straight, 6 total. So just talk about, obviously it's not like a shooting slump. It just, we know what he can do, but his defensive ability right now is just like Bruce Pearl said. He is, not only did he say the best defensive player on Auburn's team, but just in the country, one of the best defensive guards, if not the defensive guard. So we know that Bruce
Definitely.
Pearl has the confidence in him in that aspect. So we're just hoping the other aspect will come follow through too.
100%.
So another player that has been struggling, but he's new to Auburn, JP Pegues. We have wanted him to make a shot, to make a 3, to make an impact so badly. And last night, it happened. Granted, he
Yep.
had a 3-point shot. I texted Vince right away. He was already typing. I was so happy. Shot a
Yeah, no,
3,
it was cool to see for sure.
100%. Shot a 3, missed it. But Dylan Cardwell, once again, there with the offensive rebound. Back to JP. Swoosh, it went in. I hope this is not just the confidence that he needs, that he can do it. And Bruce Pearl wants that for him too. You saw when JP went on the bench, Bruce Pearl lifts up his hand so the Auburn family can cheer for him. So just I really hope this kind of just helped his confidence in a way. He still had 2 rebounds and assists and a steal. So he's not just not doing anything, but just I was so happy to see him finally make a 3. And it wasn't like just any 3. Like it was just, I don't know. I wanted that so bad for him. And I feel like I've said that every pod. We want JP to score. And last night he finally did.
Yeah, it was almost like a weight off his shoulders a little bit. He had taken a couple in this Maui. The last game he had the one where he sunk it after the shot clock didn't end up counting.
Heartbreak.
But this game he had one where it actually counted, and he missed the first one. You're like, oh JP, I wanted that one. Dylan gets it back out to JP 3-pointer. You're like, this has gotta be good. This is the one. Cash. And to see what Bruce did with his hand after he subbed out was so touching. That's not a coach, that's a leader. And to see that was really, really cool. He lifted his hand up to get the Auburn family to lift this guy up. That's what JP needed, I think. And I hope that confidence that he built in this last game against Memphis really carries over to the rest of the games.
100%. And I loved that quote you just said. That's not just a coach, that is a leader. And you could tell all of these players how much they truly just admire and respect Bruce Pearl. And just last night, there also was a funny moment though, when I don't know if you saw this, but he took Chad Baker-Mazara's towel and rubbed his face. Jay Billis was having a field day with it. It was so funny. Oh, wait. Oh my God. And then I also learned something last night on this broadcast. I think Jay Billis was talking about he was the only NCAA coach to coach a Final Four team or coach in March Madness and also be a mascot in March Madness. Did you know that? Because I had absolutely no idea and I was dying. Like,
I had no
what?
clue of that, but when Jay said it, I looked at my family that was sitting around me. I was like, did he just say a mascot?
Yeah, I
What?
really wish there was like a video picture of that because I had absolutely no idea. And I wish we knew that when we talked to
Yeah,
him because, oh, I would have asked him about that. That is
that would have been the first
so
question.
funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would have want the picture of him taking off a mascot head and like, hello. And we know it wasn't Albie because Albie doesn't have a head. He's an actual tiger. There's no like, people are crazy who think
Yeah,
there's a
I can't believe
human
people think
under
that.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I can't believe people
a
think that. Like, he's
tiger.
an actual
It
tiger.
was not Albie, guys. Okay, it was a different school, totally different school. Um, but yeah, no, I thought that was really interesting. That was also really funny when Bruce took the towel. I was like, one, gross. Two, that was really funny.
But also Chad Baker-Mazara didn't even have a reaction. I thought that was the funniest part. Like no one, not the whole team, but just Chad Baker-Mazara's towel, he did not have a reaction. It was kind of like it was normal. Like, okay.
Yeah, it was like it happened every day. It's like I hope that doesn't happen every day. Two, that was just like the whole bench had no reaction. They were all just sitting there like, yeah, coach, like what's next? And
Yep.
he's just sitting there putting every bit of
Like I don't,
sweat he had off of his.
yeah. I don't know if it was because that's a normal thing or because they were all in game mode. So I'm gonna go with the second option. They were all in game mode, just didn't even look at it twice.
Yeah, they were just locked in. And that's what we love about Auburn basketball is they were locked in, especially the seniors last night, because they were at the head of the bus. They were running the show. 80 of Auburn's 90 points were from seniors. That's crazy. Like literally more than 90% of their points were from seniors. That's fantastic. Even the post players, Auburn's post players between Cheney, Johni, and Dylan combined for 39 points, 19 rebounds, and 12 assists. That's crazy. 44 points in the paint, 11 offensive rebounds that led to 18 second chance points. Most of those were from seniors. The resilience factor of this Tigers team is built around these seniors, and they're definitely making a case for one, I think the best senior class in the country, but two, pushing Auburn towards that spot nationally where they know they're dangerous and that they're experienced, because that's what really matters. I mean, 4 players scoring in double figures is enough. Having them all be seniors as well is really impressive.
Yeah, just all of these seniors, not only are they playing incredibly, but you just see the leadership. We saw the relationship between Johni and Dylan. We see Simo as one of the leaders on the team. He's always the one doing the Auburn chants. It's amazing to see. And just the fact that, there was the whole, oh, with the transfer portal, oh, with it's everyone's one and done, they're going to the NBA. We saw that with Cal and Kentucky, how that didn't work. Now he's at Arkansas. And now you're just seeing that Bruce Pearl has proven, even in the transfer portal era, that you could still recruit out of high school and you could still develop these players from D2 schools, from places like Furman, from JUCO college. And he is proving that you can recruit in the transfer portal era without just doing one and done going to the NBA.
Amen. And something Bruce said the other day too that I thought was really interesting, and he would probably know better than most, is that the high Division 2 players he thinks are better Division 1 players than the low Division 1 players, because that D2 level is scrappy. It's hard. It's dynamic. And bringing those guys into a Power 5 Division 1 system like Bruce's, they know what to expect. That grind is the same. And that's something, I mean, he knows best because he was a coach at Southern Indiana for the longest time. He gets that. He knows what that means. And he knows he doesn't pick players based off their rank or where they are in a recruiting chart. He picks them off fit. And you can totally see that because this team does fit. There's not an outlier that you're like, yeah, I don't really know about this guy, or I don't really know about this guy. They're a team and they fit. And that's because Bruce handpicked those guys and put together a team versus a group of individuals.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the starting lineup, and Dylan Cardwell is the only one that has been recruited through Auburn as a freshman. Chad Baker-Mazara started off at a JUCO school. Denver Jones started off as a JUCO school. Miles Kelly is a transfer from Georgia Tech, and who am I missing? Johni Broome started out at Morehead State. So all of these guys are either transfers or all coming from smaller schools, either JUCO college or a smaller school like Morehead State, and just coming to Auburn. You're seeing the development. We've seen the development of Johni Broome over these past seasons. His first year at Auburn compared to now is night and day. Like, he is like we said, the player of the year right now. So just seeing Bruce Pearl develop these players, Chaney Johnson, we've talked about this constantly, the
He's
development
the
of him.
textbook for this.
Yeah, from last year to this year, he came from a D2 school. And I just think these guys coming from D2, from smaller schools, just have this chip on their shoulder. They wanted to play at these big schools and they either weren't recruited, like Denver Jones at Ida High School, that's why he went to JUCO college, or just it wasn't the right fit for them. And when it's their time, Bruce Pearl is there. And it's a testament to the coaching that Bruce Pearl and the recruiting that he does.
Yeah, it goes back to what Dylan was saying in the presser. Like, Bruce really encourages everyone to be selfless. He encourages these players to work as brothers, as a one big family. And that is so evident as they come onto the court and beat teams like they did in this Maui Invitational, like we did at Houston, and like we did in all the games at Neville Arena that we handled teams. But this Maui Invitational, to me, was so big for this Auburn program. There was, I mean, in every aspect of the broadcast, there was people talking about how, like Seth Greenberg said, is Auburn the best team in college basketball? Without a doubt. Jay Billis on Auburn's spot in the polls, he said, if Auburn wins this game, they make a terrific case to be number one. Jay Williams was arguing for Johni Broome for National Player of the Year. They're finally getting some recognition that they deserve. And that's why Bruce built this schedule so they could play the hardest teams and beat the hardest teams. People were scared of the non-conference schedule when Bruce built it. I think Bruce was the only one who wasn't. And I think he knew that this team had what it takes to go and beat these great blue blood programs. And I mean, the winning is off the charts. This is Auburn's fourth in-season tournament title that they've won in the last 6 seasons. And they've won 3 straight. They won the Legends Classic in 2019 and 2023, and then the Cancun Challenge in 2022. But he's been doing a lot of winning in the non-conference schedule. And I think this year has been the toughest testament to overcome, and they've done it so far.
Yeah, I think a lot of Auburn fans were so nervous. Like you said, we're so scared for this non-conference schedule. And Bruce Pearl was the only one who's not scared. But let me tell you, there are Auburn fans right now who are not scared anymore. Granted, we still have big opponents. We still have to go to Duke in it's like a week, less than a week.
Yeah.
We still have to play Purdue. We still have to play Ohio State. So obviously, I'm not saying we're not scared for those opponents, but just we now trusted in Bruce Pearl to make this the hardest non-conference schedule in program history. And it is working out in our favor right now. It is showing that Bruce Pearl trusted this team, and we know why he did it.
Yeah, and Auburn fans can have all the fear they want. Auburn fans, sadly, when it comes to affecting the game, don't matter. I don't think this Auburn team has any ounce of fear at all, based off how they've played. They've played in Houston against a Houston team that's been a number 1 ranked team in the Big Dance over the last couple of years. They've beaten North Carolina, arguably one of the greatest college basketball names and brands in the country. Iowa State, who's the best defensive team in the entire NCAA. And then last night, Memphis, a team that beat UConn, a team that beat Michigan State, a team that was on a roll. They put out the fire like it was another day at the office. That was fantastic to see from Auburn. And it's just a big, big boost for this program moving forward.
100%. And not only do we have to say the fans aren't scared anymore, but the fans showed up to Maui.
They sure did.
from, I don't know if you're from Auburn, Alabama, or however across the United States, but Hawaii, that is a far trip. Like Chad Baker wanted to know, is it in the US? Yes, it is in the US, but still, that is still a far trip. And we saw that last night on the broadcast. I love how they just let this show. We were waiting for Ja'Kai Howard to shoot free throws, and I'm going to show it in a minute, but you just hear the Auburn family chanting, and you see Johni Broome, JP, Chris Moore, Miles Kelly, all of them dancing, and it just put a huge smile on my face. So let's watch it. How amazing is that? The Auburn family,
cool.
the Auburn family, the Auburn Jungle travels. It is Thanksgiving. We cannot say how thankful we are for our listeners, for our fans, but specifically the fans that travel to support this team. I know the team loves it. They are thankful for you. Even Jabari Smith posted that video and was like, there's nothing like it. There is nothing like the Auburn family, the Auburn Jungle, and it is Thanksgiving. So Straight Out the Jungle is thankful for you, and I know all the players are too.
I said it's great to be an Auburn Tiger. That is going to ring in my ears all Thanksgiving, and there's no bigger blessing. We want to thank you guys for tuning into this show so far. I know we're only 13 episodes in, and we've got a wild season ahead of us, but we appreciate the love that we've been getting so far. Very, very thankful for each and every one of you individual listeners, watchers, everybody who tunes in. We appreciate you. And I know Auburn will need that appreciation next week as they travel to another high-profile opponent next Wednesday when number 4 Auburn visits number 11 Duke at 8:15 Central Time on ESPN from Durham, North Carolina. They're playing at Cameron Indoor Stadium against a Duke team led by Cooper Flagg that has struggled over the last couple games, but they're looking to get back on track against the red-hot Auburn Tigers. That should be a good one.
Oh, it 100% should be, playing in arguably one of the best environments in college basketball, which I'm so jealous, but Vince will be there. So we will have a podcast with Vince at Duke. I will be in Auburn, but still.
Yeah, I'm excited. It should be good. Cameron, I don't know that they're ready for the Tigers, but I also don't know that I'm ready for Cameron. I am so pumped up for that game. It'll be totally awesome. That environment obviously is known to be one of the top rocking places in all of college basketball. So it should be an exciting test for the Auburn Tigers and head coach Bruce Pearl, but I'm excited. It'll be awesome.
Me too. I wonder if Charles told us he might be there. So we'll find out.
Round mound and rebound might pop out. You never know. Never know, but it should be a good one.
100%. We just wanted to say we're 2 Auburn seniors just chasing our dream in the sports industry. So we seriously greatly appreciate and are so thankful for you guys listening. This has been so fun for the both of us. Obviously, this team is making it 10 times easier because they are incredible to talk about. But again, thank you everyone for listening. We hope you and your family have a blessed Thanksgiving. Absolutely. From my family to yours, Auburn family, thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vince Wolfram. My name is JoJo Cavanagh. This has been Straight Out the Jungle. War Eagle. War Eagle.